I'm Trek with 2Ks.
This again. Hola, buenas noches, buenas tardes, GnGs. My name is Trek with 2Ks. This is Trek with 2Ks Live, brought to you here on the Gentleman of Crypto Network, as well as on my own actual channel. Why are you not doing? What are we doing? Okay. This wasn't even the image on. Whatever. Figured out what the issue was. Apparently, whatever got reset on the settings on Restream. So YouTube's up, Twitch is up, X is up, my YouTube channel is up, and yeah, that's how it is going for the night. If you're hearing this now, if you're hearing this later, thumbs up will be helpful on this channel, Gentleman of Crypto, as well as on my channel, Trek with 2Ks. Also, if you're catching this on the Twitter side, if you want to follow me, I'd appreciate. Still trying to figure out where to go with these things. For those who are just coming to this for the first time, basic idea is I go through Twitter and I see what scratches my brain, and then I start talking about the stuff. Because at this point, I've been around here for a minute, and I kind of got that crypto status. Not saying I'm balling, none of that. Not saying I'm a CPA, I'm a legal advisor, I'm a money man, CPA, none of that. I've been around this thing for a minute, and I be seeing stuff now that just fuck. It's a couple of things tonight that got me like really on the like, what the hell, like. But then like, let's just start jumping into the damn stories, and we'll go from there, right? And so this way, y'all will get it. So first joint that I come across is, well, this wasn't the first joint actually. That's a misspoken on my part. I was definitely doing a fair amount of scrolling today before I got to some of these posts. Considering what's going on here in the States, things is kind of moving a little bit different. So like the crypto, like crypto Twitter, I don't know. It's on some other business. What's going on, Yosef? Appreciate you tapping in this late. So yeah, so a little bit like X amount of scrolling, and then I got to this. So according to Reuters, the U.S. Securities Exchange has reached a preliminary settlement with Gemini Trust, the cryptocurrency platform founded by billionaire twins Taylor and Cameron Winklevoss, to fully resolve the agency's lawsuit over the Gemini Earn program. In a letter filed Monday in Manhattan federal court, lawyers for both parties said the settlement remains subject to SEC approval. So, have we seen what's been going on? Are we paying attention that like certain entities or parties within the space, those lawsuits, those situations that they were in with the SEC are slowly but surely being walked back? So when does Reggie get his walk back? When does the companies that like totally went out of business or that got so crippled financially, like Odyssey, get their money back, get their apologies? Who gets to be held accountable? Right? It's just, well, it was just how the administration was moving at the time. It ain't no hard feelings. Go about and do what y'all do. Is that what that is? Like, that's crazy. But yet, here's where we are. Slowly but surely, we're seeing some of the major stakers in this space within the American market in particular get situations with legal agencies within the American government structure. Things are kind of being walked back, which also is interesting on this front in that, because I have another story that No, wait, this is Gemini. Is okay, no, it's the same. So there's another story that I'm gonna get into that has the Gemini twins. Whew, pardon me. Pardon me. Um getting involved in making a fellowship, and I'll read that to y'all in a minute. But like this situation happened. Got reported out. I've been telling y'all, like, I follow the Woo blockchain thing because here and there they'll drop some stuff that's like, oh, what's going on with that? Just something to know. Again, as I'm saying, when do we get back to where, some of the folks who were really not a part of the tech bro club or the Silicon Valley club, when do they get their repentance in what the SEC was doing during the last administration? I mean, arguably it's about time. I don't know, maybe not. Like, but just I get we're not gonna hold anybody accountable. I get that part of it. But to at least have some of these businesses be able to like get back on, or at least like have it where you clear some people's names. Case in point, Reggie Middleton. Just saying. And I'm not gonna beat this horse too much. It is what it is. All right. So this other story caught me. Hold on. This joint here. Financial giant PayPal to integrate Bitcoin and crypto into their new P2P payment flow. So right now, you can store certain cryptos on PayPal. You can't do nothing with it until apparently this happened. So this is the new. It's so ironic that I want to say it's the same CEO who's still there at PayPal now. But for those who've been in the space for a while, remember how your man was just out here talking reckless about Bitcoin. It can never be a thing. It's not gonna work. It's for criminals. It's bad elements. Blah 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 blah. He was doing all of the talking points on the bullshit about how it wouldn't work, it wouldn't be a thing. And now look at where the company is. And arguably, I should have known something was going to happen in this direction when they were one of the exit options for oh god, what's Alex company that Cilium, the London joint. So if you had anything sitting on there, and because the price of Bitcoin has moved to where it's moved now compared to when the company had dropped. So if you had some dust on there, it was dust because it was like, let's say 0.0005. I'm making up the numbers. Don't even like try to figure out like, no, that's not what 0.005 equals. I'm just making up the numbers, y'all. If it was at 0.005 and it was dust back in 2020, 2021, your dust done came into like the tens number. So now it might be like $30, $50. And excuse me, as they were closing down the site and the platform, they had to have people exit out that capital, right? And so, oh, what is going on? All right, it's gonna be one of those nights. I take it. Something is going on where Restream is having a connection issue. Oh, all right. It's gonna be a delay on the YouTube side, but nonetheless, I'm waiting to see if it picks up. Hold on. Let me say something in the chat. Oh, come on. How are we having connection issues tonight? How? I mean, all right, it's just one of those days, huh? All right, so my YouTube side is messing up. I think it just went back. Okay, I think it just went back. So, anywho, as I was saying, this is a part of the just the 180 in how things have turned around. That's the part of like you've been around for so long, you've seen like you witnessed and experienced the change in this space, in this ecosystem, in this industry as it has expanded and has grown and quote matured. Um it's just the fucking irony of it, y'all. Like it's just the irony of it that just like it's kind of frustrating, but it's also like, okay, so we are moving forward. Um, Other thing to note, total left field thing. Total left field thing. Um, the story that I had covered about the Russian financial advisor guy. And I don't know if I was the first person to pick up on it. Obviously not, because it was on Twitter and other people already saw it. But as far as like crypto content folks talking about it, I don't know, but I know I for some of the other folks that I pay attention to that are more traditional financially focused, this story has been making the rounds. And let me scroll back down so y'all see what I'm talking about. Where are you? This joint right here. Kobyakov, one of Putin's advisors, was bringing up this thing about how there's the potential for them, for not them, but for the US to use stablecoins as the way to exit out of how our debt looks. And uh as I've said, but like there was another story with what's his name? Mark Moss. Is it Mark Moss? I think I'm saying it right. He also did a breakdown prior to this whole press conference. Oh, my bad, y'all. That happened with the Russian advisor dude. So he already did a whole thing prior to that. Then that comes out. Then I see a couple of other things come out. And I think today's kicker for what got me is the MetaMask story. I'll get to that in a minute. But like I seen this, which shout outs to Bitcoin Archive. But breaking news, Winklevoss brothers and Coinbase commit to 100 million to back pro Bitcoin and crypto candidates. I'm leery of that. I'm 100% leery of that. And at the same time, I am also how am I gonna say this? I'm leery of the fellowship pack and what the press release is saying, that here's what we're gonna do, or here's the intention of what we will do to support candidates who are pro crypto. And the reason I say it is because I remember how Cynthia Loomis came into the space and how she was very, very early pushing the national patriotic angle in what is we doing in the in the crypto space conversations. Like for anybody who was in, if you were around 2017, 2015, there was never any talk about like, oh, well, you know, this has to be an American thing, or oh, this has to be a Western thing, or oh, this has to be a modern democratic society thing. It was like, no, like Bitcoin and like the earlier cryptos are going to be for anybody who wants to be down, anybody who wants to be a part of it, anybody who wants to find an alternative that allows them to have some level of economic sovereignty or economic freedom. That was the early days of crypto. And the nationalism, patriotic America first thing doesn't start coming in until I want to say like a, well, depending on what circles you were in, but more for some of the places I was moving around then compared to how it was coming off uh, what is that, 2019, 2020, and you had that crossover of the politicians who were starting to get into the the podcast realm, and and I would argue that Hester Pierce might have been one of the early folks, but I mean there were other actual like Senate and congressional folks who were getting on mics early like that back then. But my point to this whole thing is if you actually read, well, you know, let's go through and read some of this, right? So the Fellowship Pack launches with over 100 million committed to protect America's leadership in innovation and transparency. uh Washington D.C., September 15th, that's the Monday. The Fellowship Pack, a new independent expediture, I know I'm saying the word wrong, expenditure, today announced over 100 million commitment, over $100 million commitment to back pro innovation, pro crypto candidates who will safeguard America's role as the global leader in digital assets and entrepreneurship. The Fellowship Pack represents the next step in the industry's evolution, building on the unprecedented monument that innovators, entrepreneurs, and investors have already created. Unlike past political efforts, the Fellowship Pact's mission is defined by transparency and trust, ensuring political action directly represents the broader ecosystem rather than narrow or individual interests. Under President Trump's administration, a regulatory framework is being established that puts America on the path to become the global crypto capital. The Fellowship Pack will exist to carry that momentum forward, reinforcing America's competitive edge in digital asset innovation and guaranteeing that founders and domestic crypto companies have freedom, clarity, and regulatory support to build the future at home. That line right there basically means we're going to enact industry protectionist policies that will give American-based companies a arguably unfair advantage in what is supposed to be a open global market. That's what that line means. We're going to do everything that we can, like what we're doing now, to be like, well, we want the steel industry to make more steel, but it had to be American steel because you know that other steel stuff, it ain't too good. So we're going to jack up the tariff on everybody else and make it look like American steel is cheaper because of how the tariffs are on the foreign stuff. We're going to turn around and try to do the same dumb shit in the crypto space. We're going to look to implement more protectionist style policies that are going to exclude foreign companies and look to promote the American companies. Again, If you was in this space before 2017, it wasn't nobody talking about, oh, this is supposed to be an American only thing. Oh, this is supposed to only be a Western thing. It was, nah, this technology is open for everybody. You want to use it in your local community that's in Southeast Asia, that's in Latin America, that's in the Congo, that's in Australia. Like, yo, it's there for you. Use it. Now all of a sudden, not even all of a sudden, that's a lie. That's a misstep on my part. We at this point where we talking about we gotta be patriotic and like involve nationalism around a technology that is supposed to, on principle and ideals, it was started in order to grow the idea and concept of economic sovereignty. But yet, this is where we're going. We're not saying economic sovereignty anymore. We're talking about no. Like, America has to be the number one. And if you're paying attention to what's going on the global trade scale of business and economics and things along that line, the timing of this is hilarious because it's not going to work the way that this press release makes it sound. Oh, we're just going to drop over 100 million to like promote these candidates that are going to be pro crypto. And I've said this for years. If you listen to me on any other time that I talked about this shit, there is nothing that binds any public official on the government level, state level, county level, as well as the business folks, for when they have these um Twitter posts, press conferences, press releases, whether they get on mics on podcasts or like, primetime TV interview show things. There's nothing that holds them to, hey, well, you did say blah, blah, blah on your campaign trail. Oh, well, didn't you say blah, blah, blah at the press conference when you took over the company? Hey, didn't you say this and this during that podcast? All it is they said some stuff that sounded good for audio clips and for clickbait titles, and then they moved on about their business. That's it. I mean, my take is I've been in this long enough, and I'm at this age in adulthood now where like it just, you start to see the spinning door, the turning, the revolving door of how the political side plays out. And if you pay enough attention, or you at least have enough things to cross reference, you see how the business world works, and how there's waves, there's cycles, there's trendy things, there's a social engineering guided hand element to how we are moving through the developments and innovations and use cases of the technology, of political concepts, or social constructs. And it's just, yeah, like at a certain point you just go, what the hell, man? Like, what is it they said in what the hell's the movie, Neo, The Matrix? Like, the whole thing of like, just the ignorance is bliss. And then when you start getting unignorant about stuff, it's just like, bruh, like, how do we go through this daily life with stuff? Or how do we deal in this environment? I don't know some days. I don't know some days. And I look at this space now and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just chuck this up to, this is gonna be part of the growing pains. This is gonna happen. And do I want to read the rest of this? All right, so yeah, let's go, jump into it. The PAC will focus on supporting candidates committed to transparent and predictable rules of digital assets, protecting America's global competitive advantage in technology and entrepreneurship. Again, that's going to be about implementing isolationist, protectionist policies, ensuring that the innovation economy reflects America's values of openness, fairness, and opportunity. That's just friggin' like word salad. Like you just virtue signaling like a mofo. I don't know who wrote this up, but 100% on the virtue signaling. Preventing the continued exodus of talent and entrepreneurs offshore by keeping the U.S. and the best place, keeping the U.S. the best place to innovate and providing firm regulatory clarity. I'm still gonna call BS on that because, like, you're now the competition for how things are playing out in Hong Kong, the competition for how the regulatory space is going to play out in like the EU or places arguably I'm gonna say certain parts of Africa like Kenya or like Nairobi or like South Africa. Um I would I, I probably need more direct conversations with people in that in Latin America. Um, Granted, we have what Bukele's doing in Central America, but I feel like there's too much influence that we have in terms of the economics of Latin America and like the political stability of Latin America that I don't see them being able to move like how areas like Singapore or Hong Kong or Kazakhstan are moving in terms of their like digital financial realm. But I could be totally wrong because I don't have that many people to talk with in Latin America nowadays. I could be totally wrong. But all right, let's continue reading on, folks. So, transparency and trust is our differentiator. This pact is designed to align the interests of the crypto entrepreneurs, policymakers, and the public, ensuring trust and accountability as well as continuing as sorry, as we continue building the ecosystem. This is not the end, it is only the beginning. More to come. About the Fellowship Pack is registered as an independent expenditure only committee, super PAC. It does not coordinate with candidates or parties. Its mission is to ensure that that United States remain the global leader in crypto and innovation through transparent ecosystem-wide support. How does this work? Explain to me, how does this work? If you don't talk with the candidates, you don't, it doesn't coordinate with the candidates, and then it doesn't coordinate with the two major parties that we have. So what does that mean? You're basically a propaganda machine, which is usually what super PACs do. John Wallace was arrested and blah 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 for a DUI, but yet he won't vote to make stronger legislation on drunk driving. Like that kind of stuff, is that what's gonna end up being played out over the rest of this decade? I don't know. This is gonna be an interesting thing to watch, and I don't watch regular TV, so I'm probably gonna miss out on the regular commercial stuff. I mean, like regular TV commercials, but I imagine people are gonna bring some things up on Twitter. um but yeah, this is going to be interesting to watch. Like the level of politicalization that is going to take place in the crypto space, and this is the indicator right here. Like they're literally telling you what we're gonna do. Oh snap! All right, y'all gotta give a quick 2 minutes. I'm gonna come back because I just forgot. I just realized I didn't connect the damn plug. Hold on. I did it, and it didn't do what I needed it to do while I was gone. Anywho, one of those nights, y'all. It's one of those nights. But yeah, we're gonna see how this plays out in because like aren't midterms in 26 or 28? And I know that's been a whole talk thing going on right now on the political side with the administration. So this is gonna play out into that, I assume. All right, where we at? Dun dun dun. What are we doing? Oh, it did do it. Okay. All right. I'm trying to get to this other post. What the hell? Why did we do that? What was the other one? Oh, yeah. So there's another one, and I mean, it ain't really too much to read on it. It's just a breaking thing from Bitcoin Archive. Michael Saylor apparently may join lawmakers in Washington to advise about the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. That's a possibility. I guess we'll see how that plays out tomorrow, being the 16th. Yeah, because that was today that came out. So we'll see what that ends up meaning. But I think the bigger indicator trend to show is that there's a number of personalities in this space that are going to be more pro-political going forward. And is that going to be a good thing for this space? Arguably, it depends on what side of what level of the value chain are you in this. That's what it depends on. Like, at least in my take of this. And then let me explain what I mean by the value chain. Right? Are you a non-holder of crypto? Meaning like you don't have no wallets, you don't have no tokens, you don't have nothing. Okay. But do you have a pension? Is your pension involved in the S&P 500? Guess what? You involved in crypto. Are you someone who actually actively has, a crypto wallet or a Coinbase account, or you actually actively trade? All right, you're involved in crypto. Are the things that people like Michael Saylor are going to promote or advise to the administration in line with how you look at this space, or in line with how you would want the maturity or the building of regulatory policies, things that you like see as like, okay, this works, where it makes sense to have this be the administration's national policy, or like for how the SEC would move as far as their regulatory bandwidth. Does it totally get taken away from them and be like, all right, well, this is only a CFTF thing now? A CFTF? CFT? I think I'm saying their initials wrong, but or like FinCEN. Uh, and then like, again, for what part of the value chain are you in this space? Are you the mining company that's trying to get a new data center built out in Texas, and it's like 1 million square foot place, and you're trying to do some dual stuff, and all of a sudden like you're like, oh well, the green energy policy stuff doesn't matter anymore, or it does, but like the numbers don't necessarily make sense for you to try to build out there? Is that going to be a part of the conversation and the policies that go to like the EPA or the Department of Energy, DOE? I don't know. Um, are you somebody like what's his name who's behind MetaMask? The Luke dude. I can't remember his name right now. His full name. But like his level or position within the value chain of this ecosystem is not the same as the average Joe, is not the same as a Mark Cuban. And in that context of where are you in the value chain, these new or these more publicly apparent political maneuvers by noted personalities in the space, it really plays into like, all right, so is this person who what is it? Michael Saylor, like the company just bought like I think another couple 100,000 worth of Bitcoin or a couple million worth last week or something. Are we on the same plane? Do we have the same objectives? Are we looking at this space the same way? Like, is the goal the same? Again, like I like I just said, back in the day, I don't remember people talking about this in terms of oh well, it has to be an American thing, and America has to be the one to lead the way. I don't remember. Maybe I was in the wrong conversations. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. I was in the wrong conversations, or I wasn't in those conversations when people were talking about, oh, well, this has to be an American thing. And then if we talk about like economic sovereignty, well, that's not an everybody thing. I don't remember that part of it. I could be wrong though. Somebody correct me. I don't know. Um Oh shit, my bad. I just actually turned on the damn chat. Um, hey, what's going on? Human. Hopefully I can remember this. I appreciate you. Thank you, Francescoli. Franceschi. Yeah. Um, so yeah, like it's a we just gonna see how it play out. And again, I'm not the one telling y'all this as far as like to be doom and gloom. And I'm not saying folks aren't gonna make bank. What's going on? I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying the man isn't serious about his goals and intention. I'm just saying, does his goals and intention line up with the bigger ideal of, are we actually talking about economic sovereignty? Are we trying to promote economic sovereignty? Are we trying to work towards still being able to have like um financial privacy? Like I don't think those are his intentions. So for what he's going to end up advising, he's going to advise from a business standpoint. He's going to advise from a standpoint of, I have investors who was over here thinking I was crazy for the last like 3-4 years, but look at me now. And so the pressure is on. So when he's giving his like input, his input is not going to be based on how the average Joe is looking at this crypto space. That's just it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I just, this is how it be scratching my brain, y'all. Um I kind of want to dump on this a little bit. Bruh, like I'm not even talking about the paper chase part of it. I'm just saying like when I and I'm gonna still blame Cynthia Loomis because she was the first person that I heard bring up nationalism in the crypto context. She was the first one. I'm not saying there might not have been nobody else before her, but she was the first one that I was paying attention to. And when she said it, and what made it really catch my attention was she then corrected herself because whoever her assistant was off camera, they said something to her and she corrected herself in the interview. And then the other part that killed me was when asking, well, how'd you get into the space and how'd you do, your first Bitcoin and blah, 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 blah. Her story was mad sketchy. You know what? Bump this. I'm blaming your boy Anthony Pompliano. When he was on his run after he left Facebook and he started doing the whole crypto talk thing and he was doing the YouTube thing. That's where she got the and I remember I talked about this, about how at the time it was, you're going to see people make political connections more, and it's going to be like more publicly uh present. And that, when he had that podcast going, that's when we started seeing more folks that were in the bureaucratic process between the departments, the agencies, administration, blah, 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 blah. You started seeing more folks pop up on podcasts and in interviews. And that's when I seen her do what she did and she said what she said. And I was like, oh, well, this is not going to be a good thing in the long run. But again, I could be totally wrong. But like I said, I'm of an age now where like I'm old enough to remember certain things about how politicians talk and see the patterns and the trends. Like, and I pay attention to way smarter people with way better memory than me. And the patterns of behavior don't seem to change for these congressional folks, let alone just people in general, than like the nature of people, right? But that's just my whatever thought process. This was the no, I wanted to do this one, but I didn't really throw it in. But I did bring this up the other day, and this is Fernando Nikolic. Every Bitcoin podcast is the same 10 people interviewing each other about the same 10 topics, and we all listen because we're addicted to confrontation bias disguised as education. Confirmation bias disguised as education. Excuse me. The real alpha left a long time ago. Left a long time ago. What's left is people explaining the obvious to each other. We're not early. We're not early. We're just repeating ourselves, hoping repetition creates reality, and honestly, it might be working. So I'm assuming he's making a point about like the arguably my interpretation of this is talking about being able to sell to the next fool, and for how some people look at this whole crypto thing of, it's just how many fools can you get to buy in so you can exit out, right? But the first part of this paragraph is what kind of got my attention when I seen it. And I was talking about this in the other episode. I think it was last week I said this, or it might have been the week before. But like the idea of like, all right, so like here we are, Bitcoin is a teenager. What does it mean when Bitcoin is like, 21 years, 25 years? Like at that point, it's going to be like there's 3 people interviewing everywhere. But I don't, will it be worth it? And like I said this the other day, like the phrase crypto space is going to mean squat in like another 5, maximum 10 years. What? like Dogecoin. You have stablecoin. Oh, I'm gonna get into the stablecoin thing. Don't do not. Oh, my friend, do not let that. No, I'm a counter that statement. Give me a second. But yeah, so like for how like we've talked about enough of the technology, we've talked about enough of the use cases, we've talked about enough of the abuse by bad actors, we've talked about the folks who are like the early day people who are doing like the early tokens and smart contracts and stuff like that in like the 2014-15 period. Like most folks don't even remember those those coins and tokens from back then. And now here's where we are. Adoption at the government level is happening. And arguably, did we really move the needle? Like, did we move the needle? Did we come up with a sound money or a sound medium of capital that allows for the actual implementation of economic sovereignty? I don't know. I kind of question that one these days, especially for how the space is moving. Just my thought process. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong or whatever, and we'll go from there. Now, is it the next one? A matter of fact, bet. This goes to your comment, Prospector. So who is it said? I'm gonna read the line out. So I appreciate not derailing the thing, but my brain works how it works, and I'll ramble on what I ramble on. So McGlone made a comment on when CBDCs are in, why do you need another 20 million cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin when you have stable coins? Okay, here's the kicker, my friend. Here is the kicker. Stable coins are about to follow the same path as the other crypto stuff. Like in my mind, with what was the name of the bill that Trump just pushed through with the thing that's allowing USDT to do a stable coin for the American market that will be connected to the Treasury Department. And then I seen this today. Like I seen this a couple minutes before, and I was like, wait a minute, why the hell does MetaMask have a stable coin now? And the other day when I did my LinkedIn blog, which I realize now, and this is I think gonna be part of what keeps me to doing these Monday lives. Yes, thank you. The Genius Act is going through the talking process and the thought process, and then I'll walk away with like my takeaways, and then I'll go write something for LinkedIn. And one of my takeaways, well, last week's joint was about the whole quantitative easing thing and how it's an inherent mechanism within the proof of stake. But one of the other lines that I had in there was in the question of, because we have banks and then we have other entities called non-banks, right? And non-banks were able to do some real interesting things during these last two administrations. Even though they were not, quote, financial institutions, they were still able to do some things within the financial world. Okay. And why I bring that up in relation to this, and it's a number of things running around in my head about this. One, the Genius Act makes the point of like, well, the stable coins will have to be backed a 1-to-1. My counter to that was, but if in 2022 we told traditional banks that they didn't have to be backed 1-to-1 anymore in their reserves, what makes people think that same the one-to-one backing will be held in the crypto space. We're not going to wait 75 years to figure out like, nah, we don't really need to have, the traditional, the crypto financial institutions. Like, it's not going to take 20, 75 years for them to be like, nah, we're going to take that number down. It could probably be 50% backing within like 3, 5, maybe 10 years. But I honestly do not see that one-to-one backing thing in terms of the policy and guidance through the administration actually lasting, because we already see what they did in traditional financial institutions, traditional banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, PNC, what is it, PNC? Like, these banks do not have to actually have a one-to-one backing. It's not even a 50% backing. It is down to 0. So in my mind, the writing is kind of on the wall in terms of things are being set up that, at least for how I look at it, the public is going to pay for this cash grab that's going to happen at the more higher parts of the value chain of this ecosystem. That's just my take on it. I could be way wrong, way off, but based on some of the people that I pay attention to and for how I've seen this space move over 12 years now, and how I understand politicians and industry trends and indicators, like, stablecoins are the stablecoin market or ecosystem is about to go through an explosion, and it's because of what we're doing here in the US. And it's going to go through the explosion just like the tokens did. There's going to be a whole bunch of extra ones. And the question that I asked on my LinkedIn post as the last thing was, are non-banks also going to be able to create stable coins and issue them out as financial instruments? There's a number of like smart people on my LinkedIn thing that follow me. Nobody had an answer. But it is what it is. And again, like, in my mind, Meta jumping into now doing their version of the USDC, which is M, lowercase m, USD stablecoin. How this is going to play out in the next what? And for, again, if you've been around for a minute, and King says this all the time, like, yo, when you look at how when they innovate certain things or they push new, financial instruments into the ecosystem, they get a 2-3 year run out of it, as much capital extraction as possible on the end of on the back of the end user. And then, all right, well, we're going to move on to this next thing, or we're going to adjust it to do blah, blah, blah. And this sounds cool now, right? This is the you see what the talking points are. You see what the selling points are as far as the incentive. Hey, guess what? Strong liquidity incentive on whatever line of bill. I haven't touched my MetaMask account wallet in years, because at a certain point I was just like, bump, I'm just walking away from some of this stuff. It just, I was never the bag chaser type. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the price go up. Don't get it twisted. But I wasn't on the like, yo, I need to find every which way to flip and I tried trading, my hand at trading more than once. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I came for the tech. I'm so trying to still stay for the tech. But it's just, when I turn around and look at these stories, like, it just it doesn't make sense in the long run. And I don't know if I want to deal with all of the growing pains that I see, like, being like it's like The plumbing is being put in now that there will be growing pains. Again, if you're paying attention to this like global thing as far as the digital money and the bilateral trades and what's going on with the what's the thing called, it's the Shanghai something, and like just like the digital economy of things, even for like what's going on within Africa, how we're talking over here in the US about like we're looking to be number one and we're gonna be the leaders and it sound cool. It sounds great for the American home team market. It sounds like we about to do some great things. But until like things actually start happening, until the protectionist policies start being implemented, and then the other businesses and countries react, and like the people in other nation states react to what we're doing over here, we're not gonna know until that part starts playing out. And then when it does start playing out, because there's already, at least for what I'm paying attention to, indicators that go, the path we're going down is not going to give us the end result that we're telling the American people. Like, I don't know what other nice way to say that, but yeah. So um I I just don't understand. Let me not say that. I understand why Meta made a stable coin. I know that yes, there will be people who will figure out how to um get the dry powder from it, make a couple of bags from it, get a couple of bands. I get it. Probably have a good 2-3 year run. Not financial advice. Just going, this is the pattern that we've seen in the space when the crypto type businesses really start coming up with other innovative ways to do financialization. What's going on, bro? It's a late night. Uh so like, and yo, you know what's crazy? So if you look up quantitative easing, according to, like, if you just do a Google search of it, quantitative easing doesn't come into play until like 2020 something. But arguably, we've been doing our version of quantitative easing in the crypto space before 2022. Just like how we was doing microtransactions. Oh, you can buy less than a penny worth of Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, Robinhood started doing they micro stocks. Charles Schwab's calls it damn, what do they call it? I forgot what Charles Schwab called it, but Charles Schwab calls it something else. Fidelity calls their version of partial stock something else. Like, everyone has a different name of the thing, but it's the same thing we was doing in crypto for how long? I don't know, man. I just be looking at this stuff and it just, you be sitting around and just wondering, like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. Like, yeah, this is what it is. The space is growing, it's maturing. Um, there's a lot of gaslighting, in my opinion, solely my opinion, to the American public. And we're going to learn the hard way. That's what I got. We're gonna learn the hard way um about this stuff. And you know, it's gonna still be a part of the growing pains. It is still gonna be a part of the growing pains, man. All right, so that's all I got. I guess today's takeaway. what is today's takeaway? Today's takeaway is the level of politicization that will take space or that will grow within the crypto space is going to scale ridiculously during this administration's latter years. We have the Fellowship PAC, which is a super PAC that is seemingly headed by the Winklevoss twins and Coinbase. Those folks are not going to look to promote or endorse people that will be speaking out about digital privacy or economic sovereignty and things like that. Even though they're talking about, the PAC is about transparency and openness. But again, the rhetoric and the propaganda is going to be real. But this is where we are. This is a part of the growing pains. Just remember, if you was here prior to 2017, if you was around in 2012, I don't remember nobody talking about America this or Asia that or China this, or I don't remember that. Maybe it's just because I'm old. I'm on this unk status thing of it right now, but that's not what I remember. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Oh God, don't even say that, my friend. Don't even listen. Listen. You know what's crazy? That's not even a wild idea considering the things that people believe now. That's not even a wild idea. And honestly, if they do the marketing right on it and the social engineering right on it, give it, bro, like I, I can say the same thing about when stable coins first popped up and in the beginning there was such a big pushback on it. But what was the win over? The win over was the traders, was the day trader folks. Because more of the people that were coming in for trading. Like the $1 issues. Wait, say that again? Stable coins can't go above $1. I see only the issuers of the stable coins valuation. Arguably, well, okay, maybe now it has that thing to it. But back in the day, there was a number of times where what was it? The value of your stable coins versus the number of stable coins you had was not equal. You could have been up $1.02 on one USDC or one USDT. That was a thing back in the day. I remember that. I don't know about anybody else. And granted, I wasn't playing in the stablecoin space like that, but I remember when that was a thing. And then like the other part of, if you were messing around in different what's the other thing? Because I knew some people who was doing the trading in fiat. Like what I can't remember what that market is called right now, but like there was definitely a period where you could play the game with what a stablecoin's value was in one market. The arbitrage, that's what my word was. Arbitrage. They were doing the arbitrage game in different markets. You could have did it with crypto, you could have did it with the fiat, you could have did it with the stablecoin. But all right, I'm rambling on enough at this point. Y'all understand what I'm saying. This stablecoin thing, the politicalization. Was it Forex? I think it was Forex. Oh, on another side note, just popped into my head. Shout outs to Crypto Blood, Rice Crypto, and my guy, Mind Your Biz. They they got this joint they're doing now called Three Wise Men, and they're both smart, like smart brothers. Like I appreciate them to death. And I just happened to see a thing of theirs today. Like, if you want to like pay attention to somebody who could talk to you about like the price and the trading and all that stuff, that's definitely crypto blood. Um, and Mind Your Biz, he's also good on the tech side of it too, and on the political and all the like the back end connection stuff. Rice knows a number of people in the space, but I'm just not at that point of things right now, man. I'm just over here like sticking my head into crypto Twitter every here and there. I see some things that scratch my brain. Um, and then I talk about it. And the things that scratch my brain today is we're about to be overly saturated with political propaganda and gaslighting in the political arena, thanks to the Gemini brothers, twins, and Coinbase, and whoever else is a part of the Fellowship Pack, which is also a super PAC. And we're about to see some craziness happen in the stablecoin market because there's about to be a ton of BS stablecoins that are going to get pushed off on the public. And that's all I got for y'all. Other than that, I hope y'all had a good weekend. I hope you got to chill with the folks that you care about, the folks that you love. I hope that you was able to recharge your batteries. What? Okay, I gotta read that after. I hope that as far as the Monday go, you was productive, or like if you was off on Monday, you got to at least chill. Hey man, look like bird. Yo, Gaston, what's going on, bro? That's hilarious. Oh, I'm done with you. I gotta put that one on there. I'm done with you, bro. Hilarious, Birdman. I'm done. I'm done. What did I say? And 3 rules for the rest of. I'm going British Hotto. It has 3 rules for the. What does that mean? Will. Yo, LOL. Yeah, yeah. What's up to you too, bro? I hope life is doing you well. Our takeaway is everyone pays their crypto tuition, even the government. Nah. Okay. My pushback on that one, only Bitcoin, is that the government's not going to pay the tuition. They're setting it up that the public will pay the tuition. The public will pay the government's tuition in addition to their individual. Like, if you got in on crypto as the individual, and this is the thing that I was saying before, like what's going on with this fellowship, what's going on with the stablecoin thing, the Genius Act. It's a where are you in this value chain of the ecosystem? If you're an everyday person who's actually actively involved in having the wallets and having the Coinbase account and the Kraken and blah blah blah, all right, you got a little bit more skin in the game. If you're somebody who's about to retire in 5 years and your pension is a part of the S&P 500, guess what? You're in crypto because now Coinbase is a part of the S&P 500. You don't have skin in the game as far as compared to somebody who has a crypto wallet with crypto in it. But guess what? Pensions was already messed up more than 5 years back. Pensions was already telling the government, hey, they was already telling the cities, hey, in another 50 to 75 years, we're going to be insolvent. We cannot pay out the folks who are going to retire like after 2030, 2040. We're not going to be able to pay those folks out like that. They were asking for exemptions during Obama's administration. Like, let that shit sink in. Anywho, I'm done because I don't even want to start getting aggy right now, and I got to be up in a couple. Listen, y'all. Like, I'm just, as I say, man, just wishing everybody to have a productive over busy week. And you know, the best thing that I can wish you from me to you is to be in a safe place, in a safe place, in a good place with good company. And that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate the comments. Y'all definitely had me fucking cracking up. And like I appreciate, like, I really do appreciate y'all who be like still tapping in and like giving me the comments and like the DMs on the outside and stuff. Because at least this way I have some level of knowing I'm not um I'm not totally lost and far fetched in some of the things that I be saying. So I appreciate y'all. And as I said like a couple of videos ago, like I keep the videos so when we get down the road and it'd be like, yo, I remember I said something like that. I'm gonna pull up the video and be like, yo, I said that. And then when I didn't say something, all right, I ain't see that one coming. I was way wrong. I was way the fuck wrong. But anyhow, y'all have a good night and have a good week and catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all. It didn't do it.
I'm Trek with 2Ks.